Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. It's Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern here on Ready Check Radio. That means it's time for a live show to wrap up the week in gaming. We are doing it live, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. We've got Chad, who has hung out with us for a while. The pre-show's a little longer than normal today, as we had some tech troubles with some of the hosts. So we slapped up some great texts sent to the wrong people that Chat could partake in, and, you know, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's all I'm going to say. You're always missing something if you don't join us live. However, if you are watching this recording or listening to it on any of the audio platforms we're on, head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com. In the upper right-hand corner, we've got all the socials for you. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Audible, Amazon Music, iTunes, Spotify, the whole 9 yards. Wherever you're listening or watching, throw a comment, throw a like, throw a subscription on there. We very much appreciate it. And it helps us, you know, fight the old algorithms. So if you like what we see here, tell a friend. It's easy, it's fast, it's cheap, and it supports us. Joining me to go over all the gaming news, resident artist of Ready Check Radio, Yad. How are you, sir?
Hey, you know, go Power Rangers.
Indeed. Absolutely. Go Power Rangers. Also on the line, the noob fridge himself, Troy Blackburn, in a clandestine secret location.
A very top secret location, just on the other side of the desk from where I normally sit.
45 degrees from where he normally sits to his right. Now he's over there. You might recognize that back door from other images, but it's a secret location. Hey, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, good luck. Normally, we have like one or two big topics, and then I lump some miscellaneous news together, and I timestamp them for you. Godspeed, good luck. There's no timestamps on this week's episode because, honestly, like, there was a lot of gaming news this week, but there wasn't a lot of, like, big gaming news, stuff that we could, like, discuss for 20 minutes or whatever. So we've got a lot of, like, medium gaming news that is worth discussing, but is probably only a few minutes of discussion.
It's a tasting menu today. It's good.
It is. It's like we have one of those little cheese spreads in front of us with just bits of gaming news and pepperoni.
It's the adult Lunchables that people call charcuterie.
Indeed. I just had a tray of that for dinner a couple nights ago. I sent a text and I was like, you know what I want for dinner? Koshery board. My wife's like, a what? Hi, Troy's wife. Hi.
Everybody says hi. She's carrying a compressor and hoses. She can't.
I saw that.
Started on the hardwood floor in the studio.
She has a compressor and hoses. She's there to fix your computer.
Yeah, would you please just run staples through my computer? We might as well at this point.
Hey, Yad, before we get started, Destiny 2 Season of the Haunted kicked off. They, in fact, had another new dungeon kickoff yesterday, too, that is kind of getting some feedback. How is the entire season so far?
I haven't been able to jump into the dungeon yet. We did the initial evening that it dropped. A couple of my people got together with me, and we ran through the story missions and stuff like that. The story, because, it is a seasonal thing, so every week it releases a little bit. It doesn't feel like it has as many actual, like, mission type deals to do this time around, because it seems like it's more free roam. Because it's like a public event type deal, as opposed to you enter into this, mission every time to do over and over again to do your grinding on, which is nice in some ways, but the initial drop felt a little light The story itself
Right.
is good though. Although the wife pointed out, and I kind of agree with her.
Troy's just leaving. He's like, screw Destiny. Screw Destiny. I'm out of here.
It felt like they should have dropped this season in October rather than now, because it is the season of the haunted. It's all creepy and stuff like that.
Yeah, a little Halloween thing.
Yeah, it's a little Halloweeny, but it
Uh,
does have a good feel to it.
All right. Let us know if you're playing Destiny 2, what you think of the new season. By the way, just a programming note. We will not have a show on the 18th of June. So we will have one over the next couple of weeks. No problem, as normal. We're all going to take the 18th of June off. It is Torchwick's high school graduation party. Ceremony's actually tomorrow. Graduation party in a couple of weeks there. So no show on June the 18th. On that note, let's actually get started with the news portions of everything, including Sony having a state of play next Thursday. So, of course, we'll be wrapping that up on Saturday's show. 3 p.m. Pacific time for nearly 30 minutes of trailers and announcements. Now, we don't have any idea like what games are actually confirmed to be there. There is no schedule or anything. But Sony says it's been more than 2 months since our last state of play. Who's ready for a new one? Tune in live next Thursday, June 2nd, for nearly 30 minutes of announcements and updates from the world of PlayStation. We'll have exciting reveals from our third-party partners, plus a sneak peek at several games in development for PlayStation VR 2. Watch over at Twitch or on YouTube, 3 p.m. Pacific time. See you next week. Okay, so not only is that going to happen on June 2nd, gang, but then, like, pretty much the following week, we launch into the 4 or 5 day extravaganza that is Summer Games, right? Jeff Keighley's thing, and then there's a bunch of, other sites that do their things right after it.
But no E3.
No E3. Well, yeah, no E3. So what do we expect to see here? Because it's kind of like, if I sit back and think about it, obviously I want to see Final Fantasy 16. Yoshi P has said the trailer is the new gameplay trailer has been done for a while, but they delayed releasing it. He said that the game is basically done or very, very close to being done. We talked on the Relic Grind on Thursday right here on this channel about the rumor that Square Enix could potentially delay Forspoken in favor of releasing Final Fantasy 16. But do you want your 16 trailer to be shown at the Sony State of Play? Or do you just wait a week and ship it over to Summer Games? Like, I don't know what I expect to see out of State of Play here, Noob Fridge. And you're muted.
He is muted.
He is muted.
What about now?
There you go.
There you go.
This day,
today.
I swear to goodness, is going to be the end of me. Normally PlayStation isn't typically my thing that I keep up with, so I can't say that I've got anything I'm looking forward to, but I am interested in checking it out, especially based on some little bit of information we're going to talk about a little later on. It's giving me a little more vested interest, not immediately what Sony's coming out with, but it makes me a little more interested in sort of in the long-term Sony's plans going forward.
Titles under the Sony umbrella, if not consoles themselves, right?
Yes, under the titles.
Yeah, and I just can't help but think, Yad, if you have the choice, I think you ship it over to Summer Games, right?
Hey, Tarkov is saying Summer Games as well, but with their close partnership with PlayStation, with Sony, I think they premiere it, at least a teaser, at State of Play, and maybe if they have something else they can throw at Summer Games. But I'm wondering if they're actually going to talk this time for the State of Play, because apparently they're talking about co-streaming and video on demand. That's not really something you could just throw a trailer up for. And lately it's been, just trailers back to back on State of Play and then it's done. Which I have to say I do enjoy better than a host sitting there chatting with nobody.
Right. I'm not sure I get Mad Martha saying, why would Sony farm it out to a third party? The 14 or the 16 trailer would not be Sony's to farm out to anybody.
Right. That's Square Enix.
That's Square Enix, yeah. And maybe there's obviously a partnership between Sony and Square, has been for a very long time. So maybe that does lead you to put it in the State of Play, a little cash deal or part of the marketing package or whatever agreements they've made together. But as far as an audience, like I just kind of feel like if you want to get it out in front of people, then you want it at Summer Game. And you're not going to lose any of the potential PlayStation people that were going to see it by putting it at Summer Game. They're going to be watching that too. And so is an audience that isn't, like Troy, necessarily interested in Sony's stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. I have no idea what to expect. I just want to see the damn 16 trailer. Just let me see it.
I do too. Yeah, I want to see
I don't
it as
care. I don't care which show it is. I don't care which show it's at. Obviously, we'll cover the whole thing next week, whether the 16 trailer is there or not, because I can't wait. I told you it's going to be all over the place. We are going to bounce all over the place.
Yes,
Troy,
we
something you talked about a couple of weeks ago, you actually were looking forward to Sniper Elite 5.
Yes.
This is weird. Like, maybe you know more about this than I do, but Rebellion had to put up an apology for players that wanted Sniper Elite 5 via the Epic Game Store, because it was originally supposed to launch on the Epic Game Store alongside, Xbox One, Series X and S, Game Pass, PS4, 5, PC on Steam, Windows Store. This was available everywhere, including the Epic Game Store. And you were able to pre-order it there. But then all of a sudden, the title got pulled from the marketplace prior to the release date. Refunds were issued. And they said via Twitter, hey, due to circumstances beyond our control, Sniper Elite 5 was not available on the Epic Game Store at launch, but will release on that platform in the future. We apologize for any inconvenience. I got to believe that in the future isn't exactly that close if they went ahead and dropped refunds on people without them asking for refunds.
Yeah, and as for refunds in the future, that sounds like months down the road. And all I've heard is just wild speculation here and there as far as exactly what happened. Nobody knows for sure, but we do know that all 24 people who pre-ordered it on the Epic Game Store got their refunds and didn't have to ask for them.
Didn't have to ask.
Very weird.
I'm thinking there might have been a breach of contract with something that's severe, where they're actually refunding people, and they haven't given by the way, it'll be this date instead of, did you say later?
Yeah.
The free refund part without people asking for them is the craziest part to me.
Right.
Like, something really went wrong for that to be happening. Normally they would just hang on to your money. If you wanted a refund, make you ask for it.
Right.
And then just, 3-6 months down the road, launch the game and honor your pre-orders.
And if it was coming out a couple of weeks from now, I think they would have been like, hey, it's going to be delayed a couple of weeks. If you want a refund, send a support ticket here.
Yeah.
Right.
But like this just got pulled down and everybody was just automatically given a refund.
Yeah, it really sounds like it's someone messed up really bad and we got to rehash this contract now.
It's very bizarre. Just the one platform, and it's the one that everybody
and
gives a shitty time anyway.
It's a platform on PC, so it's not like all of PC.
Yeah, you can still go get it on Steam. You can still go get it on Xbox Game Pass. I actually don't know if it's on the PC Game Pass side. I didn't look.
It is. It showed up on mine. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's on Game Pass and it's on the Windows Store, for crying out loud.
Right?
For God's sakes, you could get it on the Microsoft Windows Store.
So
I don't know why you would.
You cannot go visit Sniper Elite 5 in jail.
Yeah, to this day, Zach Sharps has the best description of the Epic Game Store ever. I use it all the time. It's where I go to visit my free games in prison.
Wow.
I claim my free games every Thursday. If I had bought Rocket League on Steam before Epic Games, before it went free to play on Epic Games, and I could only get it on Epic Games, I honestly don't even think I'd be logged into the Epic Game Store enough to claim my free game every Thursday.
The only reason I have the Epic Game Store is because I'm trying to learn the Unreal Engine. That's the only reason I have it.
Yeah, I have that too. I have actually the CCG toolkit. I bought that, so because I'm trying to make Final Fantasy TCG digital software.
I mean, the whole.
I wish I had time. If any programmers would do it for me, I will commission.
Yeah, it's all about time. But I mean, remember when Rainbow Six Extraction came out?
Yeah.
And I was like, where the frick is it?
that was
Game Pass. Where the frick is it? And you're like, oh, you got to download the Unreal
Yeah, it was a huge pain in
or
the ass.
Epic Games. I'm like, why?
Yeah, it was a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's not that everybody hates everything besides or anything besides Steam. I'm cool with Steam. I'm cool with GOG. I'm like cool with all the Epic Game Store is atrocious. It's a bad digital platform.
Yeah, I'm
has
annoyed.
nothing to do with monopolies being with Steam.
Yeah, I'm annoyed when you have to download another app from when you're trying to play a game from a different app. That's what got me. Is like I'm trying to play it on this app.
Oh yeah, Ubisoft does that all the time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's what was annoying me about it.
I mean, for God's sakes, the Epic Game Store just X months ago, Troy got a cart finally, and that was like months ago that it finally got a cart that you could buy more than one thing in a transaction.
It's not a great user experience. When I was on there trying to I remember the night I was trying to buy Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I was like, okay, wait a minute, where do I go? How do I buy this again?
Yeah.
Am I buying it now? Are you going to charge me? Do I have this game or not?
but Epic Game Store got me though. I have to have it if I want to use the Unreal Engine. So
well, you can use the Unreal Marketplace though, can't you?
No. The only place to get it is on the Epic Game Store.
Really? Is it all over there?
You have to download Epic Game.
I mean, I know it is there because that's where I have my CCG toolkit and Unreal from, but I thought you could get it elsewhere too.
Nope, that's the only place you can get it.
Hey, here's one I'm looking forward to. Told you it's just going to be jumping from one thing to the next today. No timestamp. Sorry. There's just nothing, like Callisto Protocol. Man, I can't wait for this. Have you either of you guys been watching this?
I have
no, but the trailer looks amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the trailer when you
Yeah, I've been watching this one for a while. If you're into, and obviously you guys know I'm into survival horror. I'm into psychological horror. We streamed Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 8, the complete game on this channel. We streamed The Medium on this channel. Like, I'm into all of that stuff. The Quarry is coming up on the 10th. Definitely looking forward to that one. Then Callisto Protocol. Definitely looking forward to this. And then in January, headed into space in my Deep Space, Dead Space remake. Like, I am all horrored up. I am totally geeked. Why am I bringing this here? Because if you don't know about it, you should be watching it. We haven't talked about it much on this show besides to say that I was looking forward to it when we did our kind of like upcoming games. What are we looking forward to? But for those of you that don't know, this actually was going to be taking place in the PUBG universe, whether you can believe that or not. It was taking place about 300 years in the future, which makes the universe null and void, basically. Right. But they were in the same canon, the same headspace, the same timeline. That's no longer the case. Glenn Schofield tweeting out, excuse me, that's a CEO and founder of Striking Distance Studios, the team behind it. FYI, Callisto the game is its own story and world. It no longer takes place in the PUBG universe. It was originally part of the PUBG timeline, but grew into its own world. PUBG is awesome, and we still have little surprises for fans, so Easter eggs. But the Callisto Protocol is its own world, story, and universe now. So that just makes me like it even more. Yeah, I don't know why they were trying to cram it into the PUBG universe to begin with.
That's what I was going to say. Like, you were going to have to ham-fist that into the PUBG universe and then ham-fist PUBG references into your game. I can't imagine that it was for any other reason than, we want to be able to say PUBG and mention PUBG when we're marketing our game. Because other than that, just watching what little I've seen of it, it makes no sense that it would be involved in PUBG in any way.
I feel like Yod feels the same.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's I mean, the graphics on it the trailer looks really good on the graphics side of it. And I can see, like, why would you want to try to cram something like PUBG where PUBG is kind of just normal everyday fighting or PvP.
Yeah, it's a battle royale.
Yeah, it's battle royale. It's modern military stuff. It's nothing super sci-fi. There's no super scary horror elements to it. It's just your average mil sim kind of deal.
Oh, Havoc, I'm definitely going to be streaming this. Like any psychological horror game that we play absolutely gets streamed.
And
This will be, like, I get it. You know, Krafton is involved in the publishing. That is the team that publishes PUBG and all that fun stuff. So I get it. Troy, I think you're right. I think NME.com actually had the best headline on this, where they said the Callisto Protocol cuts confusing ties to PUBG universe.
yeah,
We cuts confusing ties. They went on to say, Schofield said, the idea of us being in the universe at first sounded really cool. And then as you start coming up with your own story, we realized, wow, this is a little out there. We built in some touch
tied
points.
to a multi-million-dollar franchise at first sounded really cool.
It sounded like a great idea. And you'll find them throughout the game, like Easter eggs and things like that. But yeah,
Easter eggs are fine.
Yeah, here's the thing though. Like I deal with hype language all day, every day, writing over at mmobomb.com, assigning stories, doing videos, right? Troy, you do to a certain extent when I send you stuff for a first look. Actually, we got one coming up for you in a couple of weeks. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's coming up in like second week of June, I think. I'm gonna take the Roller Champions one. I played that yesterday. Anyway, so I get it from a marketing standpoint, and I get hype. That's fine, but I feel like you're automatically setting yourself up for failure or a huge opportunity for failure when you say things like this. So Callisto Protocol set to launch later this year. And Schofield has previously said that Striking Distance Studios hopes it will be the, quote, most terrifying game of all time.
Ooh. That's a big label there to try to fill.
Yeah, I mean that might be a good point, Havoc, is like that they looked at what they were doing initially or what their plans were, and they were like, hey, we kind of got to tie this to something to get some marketing oomph behind it. And then during development, they were like, this can stand on its own.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to do that. Our trailers and stuff are going to look really dope, even if the game sucks. Like, our trailers are going to look dope as shit, man.
Yeah, but look at these trailers.
I mean, the studio making it's not the same studio that made PUBG, right?
Well, no. A Striking Studio did not make PUBG, but
Okay.
Krafton, the publisher of Callisto Protocol, is the publisher of PUBG. Too.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the same publisher, not the same
right.
developer.
I wasn't sure about that. I just wanted to make sure so that also our audience knows, in case
Yep.
they didn't know, that it wasn't the same developer, but the same publisher. So in that case, I have a loose theory in my brain that kind of says someone at the distributor said, hey, this is a good idea. If you sign with us, you should do this. And in order to smooth the signing deal for publishing out, they said, oh, yeah, sure. We can do that.
I don't know, because if I'm on Krafton's side, I'm like, you want to tie it to PUBG? Why? Like, that's a brown first-person shooter, right? Like, everybody's wearing brown uniforms in desert, and that's the environment you want to tie this into? Oh, it'll be 300 years into the future. Oh, yeah, because that totally makes sense then. Why not tie it to PUBG? Who knows what that place is going to look like 300 years from now? Do whatever the fuck you want. It's fine.
I'm not saying it's the main people. I'm saying someone somewhere said, this is a good idea.
Maybe. I don't know. I tend to agree with you, Troy, that it was like, hey, anytime anybody covers this, PUBG will be in the headline.
Right.
That's SEO value, boys.
SEO,
Let's do
baby.
it.
I mean, you're not wrong. SEO value is, SEO value.
I'm just going to start putting PUBG in every headline in MMO
Right.
Bomb. Next week, every headline will have PUBG in it. Nobody will get it except the people that watch Gaming Gumbo on Ready Check Radio. And they'll
It'll just
be
be-
laughing.
It'd just be lines like, this game is nothing like PUBG.
Yeah. CEO of Microsoft Gaming, Phil Spencer, says this about Xbox Game Pass and PUBG. Why is PUBG not in the article at all? Doesn't matter. It's 300 years. Yeah, it's 300 years into PUBG's future when he said this.
Oh
Stay
my
tuned.
Stay tuned. Speaking of, I'm trying to put segues in. Speaking of CEO of Microsoft Gaming, Phil Spencer. I
Nice
told
one.
you it's a
Yeah,
bunch
that
of
was
random news. I'm just
That was
making
smooth.
them. He said, by the way, Raven Software did vote and pass their union vote. We have the first AAA video game union in North America. That vote passed 19-3. Congratulations. Games Workers of America, or Game Workers Alliance. I hope to see this roll through and kind of, I know it's a little snowball right now, but that's how every avalanche starts, right? So let's see how this rolls through the next few years. But obviously Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard and Raven Software creating the union inside Activision Blizzard, now forcing negotiations. Can I open my eyes yet? Oh, hold on. Let me take the B-roll down. There you go. Phil Spencer was asked about this. And you know what, gents? What a guy. What a guy. Just what a guy. He said, hey, you know what? Once the deal closes, we would absolutely support an employees organization that's in place. We think it is a right of employees and something that can be a part of a relationship between a company and people who work at the company. If the deal closes, Spencer said, we will absolutely recognize the union. What a guy. Like, just what a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Everybody look at me.
Yeah.
I'm a good person.
Totally.
I understand his meaning.
Wait. No, he has to. He has to.
Right, right. I understand his meaning behind it.
It's really easy to say the right thing when you're legally obliged to.
Right.
Oh, we'll totally recognize that union. Yeah, because you have to.
once the deal is finalized.
If the deal is finalized.
If the deal is finalized. That's the part that got me, is that he could have said that a little smoother.
Well, if you look, the entire thing's, there's a lot of equivocation across the entire thing. Once the deal closes, which is the point you're making, we would absolutely support an employees organization that's in place.
Right.
AKA, anybody that works for me now, don't you dare try this shit.
Right.
Don't you dare. But one that's in place already, I mean, there's nothing we can really do about that, so we'll absolutely recognize them.
Yeah, it's a done deal, but, the people in front of me right now, yeah.
So here's the thing. Like, there is a difference, by the way. Like, he doesn't have to employ them. Right? Like they have to go through contract negotiations, right? The union's going to have to negotiate, Troy, with Activision Blizzard right now, and then Microsoft, being the purchaser, would have to abide by any contract and terms that are there until the expiration of the contract, and then the union would have to then renegotiate a contract with the new owners, Microsoft, at that time. That doesn't mean that he has to employ them. He could just opt to not renew the contract. You know what? We don't want you to be our QA people anymore. And let's assume that Raven Software, when this deal closes, is still the only unionized game workers that Microsoft would have to deal with. He doesn't have to hire them. Like, he could go try and get other... I mean, it's a bad look, right? It's a terrible look if you don't. But maybe they don't care about the optics, and that's fine. They don't have to hire them. That's not what I'm implying. They don't have to work with them. They don't have to get a contract with them. But the quote is that we would absolutely recognize the union. You have to. Legally, you have to do that. Doesn't mean that you have to employ them, though. What you think, Troy? You got your thinking face on.
I think that hopefully this is the direction going forward in the future, because publishers, developers, the big companies have left these developers with no choice but to go in this direction. As you said, yes, it's just a tiny snowball right now leading into a huge avalanche, hopefully in the future, but it's going to be a slow road. And it's going to be a tough road for these developers who are trying to make this happen. And you're going to run into some who form their union, and somebody's going to say, no, we're just not going to make a contract with you. And it's going to be a tough uphill battle. But like I said, the developers, I feel like they've been pushed to the point where they don't have a lot of choice but to band together and fight back finally.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle. I doubt this amounts to much in the game business as a whole. I think you're dead wrong. I think you're absolutely dead wrong. I think short term, you're probably right. Like Troy and I were just talking about that. Like the next year, 2 years, 3 years, there's going to be so much non-union work available compared to union work that it may not be much of an impact initially. As these unions get bigger and bigger, which they're going to, now whether they'll be big enough to hit that tipping point, where now there's more union work than non-union work, I don't know. But either way, it is going to be a big deal in the gaming business over the next 5 years or so. It's absolutely going to be a big deal.
It's going to get there. It's going to take its time, but it's going to get there because everything starts out small. As far as Xbox concerned, though, I mean, Ravensoft is Activision's QA department, right?
Yes, specifically Call of Duty. Yeah.
Right, so they could totally just cut Ravensoft loose after the acquisition and find another company that does QA.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
that's why I'm saying none of this means they have to use them.
Right.
I mean, they have to abide by any contract that's currently in place. Like maybe they have a contract for their current round of Modern Warfare 2 QA testing and stuff. Like they have to finish those contracts off. But there is no guarantee. Unionizing is a great thing. Fantastic. I'm all for it, particularly in this industry. I'm not for it in all industries, but that's a different topic for a different day. This industry absolutely needs it, particularly in the United States. Again, I'm not going to speak to other countries where things are a little bit different too. But it doesn't mean they have to employ them. That's the tricky part. Like the contract negotiation does have to make it beneficial for Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft, any of these companies to want to hire union work rather than just go say, hey, let's try and get non-union work. It'll be cheaper. We won't have to deal with salary and benefits because we'll just sign a contract, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to have to be a give and take. We'll see if it's worth it.
Definitely.
Short term, yeah, it's going to be a small impact. Longer term, I don't agree. I think it's going to be a big impact across the industry.
This one will inspire a second one to get moving.
No doubt. This isn't the first North American gaming union, by the way. This is just the first one at the AAA level. We already saw one earlier where an entire development house went unionized. It's a smaller development house, but yeah. We'll see. I think you're wrong, but that's fine. Let's go to Sony and PC. Troy, this is what you were talking about a little earlier, where maybe you actually start to get interested in some Sony titles as they expect to earn $300 million from PC games in the next 12 months. Now, that is not chump change, particularly though it is a big number, surprising, coming from Sony, who doesn't really dabble in PC. Has started porting over more and more titles to PC.
They just started to, and now all of a sudden, now they're like, now we're going to make $300 million off of porting PC titles. But I tell you what, they've still got some big titles that they, can come to the PC and make a big impact. We've seen recent ones like the Horizon series slowly start coming to PC. God of War, things that are. Normally PC players wouldn't even get to play if you don't own the Sony console. So makes me interested in what they're putting out for the future, even though, I don't expect PC to initially be getting, day one releases from Sony on first party titles. But at the same time, the fact that we could get some of this stuff that we've never been able to play before could be very interesting for us in the future. And it's nice of them to recognize that, hey, we spend money on PC too. We have monies.
We have those dollars. Would you like some of them?
You like all of the sweet monies? We have monies.
Would you like some of those monies? Returnal, a big title that is rumored now to be coming to PC. Not confirmed yet. Love that game on the PS5. Fantastic game on the PS5. Chat talking about Uncharted. The Uncharted PC collection. Yeah, God of War. Obviously, we already saw that one. So, and they had previously said, hey, we're going to be making at least 10 live service titles over the next year.
Yeah.
I hope that's not their plan to make.
Or not over the next year, over the next couple of years. Yeah. But they're planning. Yeah, they're planning on releasing 2. It was by 2025 was a dozen live service titles. But they're aiming for 2 by the end of this fiscal year, which ends in March. So that's March 2023. They're aiming to have 2 games as a service launched, and we don't know anything about them, but they are saying, hey, it is not Destiny related because that's already a games as a service, so could have cheated, right? Thrown Yod another expansion pack and been like, that's one of them. Like,
That's true, but I mean, acquiring or the deal's still going down with acquiring Bungie.
Well, I mean, I guess my question is 100% sarcastically, how much more content in the game do they have to take out to give back to you in an expansion?
It's a give
Vault
and
that
take.
shit up, boys. We'll see it in 2 years.
It's a constant
Thank you
give
for
and
your
take.
$60.
Yep. Yeah, it's a constant give and take with that one.
No,
But,
it's just a take. It's just a take.
No. They've brought a whole bunch of stuff back.
Yeah.
A little differently.
that you already paid for.
Right.
And you paid for it again. Yod's now thinking, he's like, shit, I did. What the hell's wrong with me?
It's fine.
Hey, man.
All fine.
Man, anything that the stamp Final Fantasy on it, and I'm gonna shell out money.
Yeah,
so,
everybody's got their
yeah.
their
We've
titles.
all got our own ones.
Yeah.
Our own ones.
I mean, hell, if they poured over Parasite Eve, I'm paying for it again.
Oh,
So-
definitely. Oh, definitely. Hey, I'm
The
not
thing-
sure why exactly this wasn't the default, but Twitch might actually start telling people why they got banned.
They don't need to know that. Why would they need to know why they get banned?
I mean, this is crazy.
So you can
craziness.
change.
More
you
people
cannot
than
get banned-
admit it know good and damn well why they got banned. But I'm sure there are some out there who are probably thoroughly confused as to what rule exactly they broke that caused their
Oh,
ban.
yeah.
But but everybody who claims to be innocent, of course, we've talked about this before. They're not all innocent, and a large chunk of them know exactly why they got banned, regardless of what they tell you on YouTube that they have to go to when they get banned from Twitch.
Yeah, anytime somebody does something stupid on Twitch and gets banned, they know. But there are a ton of people that I know personally that aren't huge mega streamers that people are writing about that like got a 3-day ban, and they're like, I'm still not exactly sure what I did. Like, and I didn't have a nip slip. You know, I didn't swear. I didn't say something racist. Like, I'm not sure why I got banned. Now, the specifics aren't out yet on exactly how they're going to do this, but what they are talking about maybe doing is clipping the infraction and sending that to the person that they're banning.
I think that would be the most helpful.
And to me, I'm like, why wasn't this the default? Like, why was the default, I'm not going to tell you? Like, in what world does that default position make sense?
It's not that they won't tell you. It's, you know what you did.
Yeah. That's where Twitch sends you an email. They're like, look, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, Noob Fridge.
Exactly. You know why.
I'm sorry.
I'm not mad, Noob Fridge. We're just disappointed.
And you know why.
Hey, this finally has a release date. I just figured we'd bring it to the show because we've been talking about it off and on as we've seen development. This is Lord of the Rings Gollum will be coming out on September 1st, coming on PC and consoles, and then later, a different later date will come to the Nintendo Switch. And I know I'm not playing the audio on this, but if you go watch the trailer, and remember, this is like that kind of, it's more stealthy than anything because you're Gollum, right? You know, you can't really just go beat the hell out of a ton of orcs. But there's something really weird in the trailer, and YouTube picked up on it right away. Like, people were saying, I wasn't paying attention. I was getting the show notes ready, and I had the clip downloading for B-roll, so I wasn't watching it. I was putting things into our show notes. But then when I scrolled through the YouTube comments, people were like, what's up with his voice? But his voice is really weird. And I was like, did they not get Andy Serkis to do it? And so, like, I had to go back because I remember talking about how Andy was doing the voice and how they were making this big deal of, you know, he's doing a lot of stuff that sounds a lot like the movies. But then you go back and watch the trailer. It is Andy. It doesn't sound right. There's something goofy going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a bad mix. I don't know if Andy's so far removed from it that, like he can obviously go to a con yard and pop a line or two here or there, and it sounds exactly like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. But maybe he's just so far removed from it, or he aged, or like maybe he's chain smoking. Like, I don't know. I don't know what his status is. But I think things have just changed, and it doesn't quite sound right, and that happens. But it's almost unnerving, like when you expect a voice and it's not. It doesn't seem to be quite there. It's close, but it's not quite there.
He could totally be phoning it in. I mean, like I said,
I
he could
don't
be
know.
so
I think
totally
Andy
removed from
loves
it.
playing this character.
Right,
like
but
every
he
time you
could-
see him do it, he just looks like he's having a
He
blast.
could be so removed from the project though that they've put so many restrictions on him that he's like, fine, whatever, just give me the check. You know,
I don't think so.
like I mean,
I think he may have just like he's older now.
that is also possible, and I do know quite a few voice actors that do tend to chain smoke, and yeah, their voices will change depending on how much they've been chain smoking, what project they've been working on, and stuff like that. So that could be it as well. But I'm still not sure about this game. I mean,
I'm not either.
you just
It doesn't
Gollum.
look great.
Yeah,
It doesn't look great.
wandering around.
Well, I was just pulling it up on YouTube trying to see if maybe the resolution was the problem or something. Because to me, it didn't look fantastic.
No, it
No,
doesn't look
I
great.
was just pulling the trailer up. I was like,
No,
God,
it just
does
really
it really
doesn't look
that?
fantastic. Yeah, it's
Ugh.
bad.
It looks pretty bad. It looks
mean,
pretty bad.
It's possible it's not the final render as well, but
I don't know, dude. It's launching September 1st.
hell,
If they're not, I mean, they don't have to be gold yet. They don't have to be gold stamped and ready to go yet, but this should be final render. And this is your showcase trailer. This should be final rendered, even if the rest of the game isn't.
I mean the She-Hulk trailer they released apparently wasn't final render. So
Yeah, and it looked like ass
yeah,
too.
It looked like,
Yeah,
looked like ass.
exactly. And then they released a different trailer that had some higher level renders.
I don't know. We've all been torn on this one since we started talking about it back
right.
with Jason Winter, and it's just like I always
Yeah,
I kind of like looked at it and I was like, I don't know why you'd make a game just based on Gollum, and then the more I was like, that kind of might be neat actually, following his storyline through they're trying to reclaim the ring and everything. That could be neat, and it would be more stealth based. Okay, I'm willing to see what you got, and then just like every step of the way, I was like, this ain't doing it for me. It just ain't doing it for me.
Correctly.
Oh my God, that does not sound like him.
No, it doesn't. No,
Jeez.
it's close, but it doesn't. It sounds off.
Sounds like an impersonator.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds off. I don't know. We'll see September 1st.
Yeah.
This definitely isn't a day one for me at all, but we'll see.
What if it's on Game Pass?
Yeah, let them old reviews come out on that one.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, God. Hey, make sure you sign up for your digital wallets for GameStop. They're doing that whole trading crypto and NFTs, digital wallets.
You saw the article I posted up about the what was it, Seth Green's NFT monkey thing, right? Yeah, so secure, isn't it?
Oh, we see those every week.
Yeah. So secure.
GameStop's future looking bright.
Meanwhile, in GameStop news, they're still struggling to remain relevant.
Yeah,
right.
It's looking bright. And in other news, looking bright, Riders of Icarus, an MMO that lost its publisher from Nexon, reverted back to Valve and now has 100 concurrent players on Steam at any given time. They've decided, you know what, the best way for us to revitalize ourselves and bring the players back is go pay to earn. So they're doing that too.
What?
Yeah. Riders of Icarus. Check it out, mmobomb.com. We actually covered that and a lot of news of the stupid on yesterday's Always Online podcast. Head over to mmobomb.com or the YouTube channel to check that out. It was definitely a news of the stupid episode with myself, Wilfredo, and Anthony, and that was just one of them. Okay, Troy, I thought this would be right up your alley, but Gloomhaven, tabletop game, dungeon delve with your friends.
A very, very big deal, by the way.
Yeah,
in the tabletop
very
world.
big deal. Very big deal game. Big deal game. Has the PC version, but now it's also coming to consoles. And I know that I wanted to ask if you've played this already on PC, but I'm bringing the news that, hey, it's coming to consoles next year, 2023, if for some reason you want it on a console. It has been available on PC, but for those that maybe want to pick it up on consoles, Troy, what's it like? Like, Because this is not one that when I saw come out digitally that I was like, I honestly was like, no, that kind of feels like it's taking away from Gloomhaven to do that. But am I crazy? Is it good? Like, what's the deal?
I actually prefer a lot of times for tabletop games to lean more heavily into the digital presentation of the game and have the moving characters and not just like still pieces on a board that move around. So I actually enjoy having that system into more of a true video game format in Gloomhaven. Is it the exact same feel as playing the board game? No, not quite, but the systems are all there. The classes are there that you're going to be more familiar with, and if you're not familiar with Gloomhaven, you're going to learn some of the game systems and stuff along the way to be able to pick it up on the tabletop game. It's been a little while since I played it. It was fairly early on at the launch. The last time that I really got hands-on with it, but I definitely enjoyed my time with it as a digital version of a tabletop game that is, as far as I know, still maybe #1 on Board Game Geek as far as the tabletop version. I mean, this game is humongous in the tabletop world.
Yeah. I just didn't know like if it would translate well. Like, obviously, I felt like, hey, you could make a Gloomhaven digital game, and that would in that IP, and that would probably be good. But this actually tries to emulate the experience of the table in a digital way. It's not just something in the Gloomhaven universe.
Yeah, and
that I
so
thought
often
might lose a little something.
To me, it didn't. To me, I think it gained a little bit. I enjoy it, but so often you get just these straight, like literally pictures. Like you might as well be playing on Board Game Arena, right? Of some of these official apps of games where it's literally just pieces. Then you'll see the piece pick up and move spots. If you're going to do it in a digital medium, you've got so much more room to show that and represent that in a more entertaining way. And I think this game does a fantastic job of that.
We shall see. Chat talking about Babylon's Fall. Hey, by the way, that's another one that decided it's going to extend its second season for 3 months into the end of November now, while they evaluate the future roadmap. Again,
are they?
You really need to watch Always Online over on MMO Bomb. It was truly news of the stupid. There's another one, though, coming to Steam that you wanted to talk about, Troy. Another tabletop coming to the digital verses.
Yeah, since we were talking about Gloomhaven, that one, the very first time Gloomhaven hit Kickstarter, it pulled in about $300 and something thousand. But then, like, it got out there and they did a second printing, and that hit like just a hair under $4 million. Well, Nemesis is another huge Kickstarter that pulled in $3.8 million, just shy of what Gloomhaven did the second time around, and they did it in their first go-around. That's been a big deal. Think Aliens without the IP, basically. It's IP-free Aliens, and it's definitely climb around the ship and survive the alien onslaughts, and you've got objectives to meet to get to the escape pods. And there's a digital version of that called Nemesis Lockdown that is scheduled to launch here in just a few days. May
3 days.
On
3
Steam,
days.
as long as it doesn't get some crazy delay here at the very end. So I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of just board games that were huge tabletop games on Kickstarter, making their way to PC with a more digital representation, with a more video game-like representation, but using the systems from the tabletop game.
V Rising. Uh-oh.
Oh,
We lost Troy.
we lost Troy.
Crashed.
Oh, he's back. He's back. All right. He's back. He's just got to turn his camera on. We're back. V Rising, the vampire game by Stunlock Studios, has sold over 1 million copies, has had 80,000 people playing it before, and has been one of the top games on Twitch since its launch. The vampire survival game that I was very, very much looking forward to. Troy wants to know what we feel about it. So, Troy, I'll let you go, but I'm going to go first on this one. Freaking love it. Absolutely love it. Does it scratch my Blood Omen itch? No. There is no real narrative force in the game. It does not scratch that itch at all. Is it a well-done survival game? Absolutely. Does it incorporate being a vampire in ways that aren't just, hey, our gimmick is you're a vampire. Yes, it's actually really, really, really well done. I like enthralling people and putting them in cages just to draw their blood. I keep some of the minions around to do work for me, but then there's some you just throw in a cage when you need a tasty drink every once in a while. And farming up a ton of stone and doing doing those Minecraft or Terraria type things where you're building your castle, and it is absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of people compare it right now to Valheim. I did the first look video on it over on MMO Bomb, and I did mention Valheim. I think it's an apt comparison, but not in as broad a way as many people seem to think. The advancement of your skill tree is very similar to the way you advance your tech tree in Valheim, where you go do PvE boss content and get an ability or a skill and stuff like that. And they did finally put in the single player offline mode. That was not there at launch. It just came in 2 days ago, so you now can play offline by yourself if you want to. So that's a plus. My concern with the game, I absolutely love it, Troy. I absolutely love it. If you're not down with a PvP server, I think it's a short-lived game for you. If you're not down with going on to a private server or with a bunch of friends and just making up your own challenges, or going onto a server with your friends and duking it out, or going onto a regular PvP server, whether it's with duos or clans up to 4. How many times am I going to go on the PvE server and run myself to the top tier crafting and gear and beat those bosses? Because while it is a big world initially, it is not big once you get into it. And the bosses are always in the same places. It's very static as far as the world itself. The first time through is cool, but I don't if you're not down with the PvP side, I don't see you replaying a character on a PvE server unless you just you log off and you forget to give your castle blood for a week or so, and then you come back and you have to start over. But I do love it. I personally love it. And even then, though, if you only enjoy the PvE side of this, I still think you're going to get 30 to 60 hours out of your money. And that's damn good value for the low cost of the game. It's $20. It's $20. What do you think, Troy?
Yeah, I'm still enjoying it right now. I'm not probably as far in the end as a lot of people are at this point. Obviously, I've been a little slow rolling with my video card or my motherboard dying on me and making my video card useless because my PCI slot is out. So I've only been able to play on this computer, my wife's computer, whenever she's not working. But I'm on a private server with a bunch of friends. I think there's 8 or 9 of us at this point, and we get a lot of fun out of just being PvE, and we go fart around, kill bosses, and we're all slowly progressing towards the end game, but we're doing little stuff. We get more enjoyment out of it, just kind of playing together and going and killing stuff and farting around and looking at each other's castles and talking about who's got the best castle and stuff like that. So we're still getting enjoyment out of it. But definitely without some DLC here pretty soon, I think our time as just casual PvE players is very slowly coming to an end here. I think it will probably be over about the time that first month subscription on our private server runs out. So it's going to be a matter of, okay, what's out or what's coming in the near future when that second payment is due.
Yeah, if you like trying to survive on the PvP servers, the game can be played ad infinitum. It doesn't need anything else besides improvements and things like that, which they are continuing to make. But those that are looking for a PvE experience, there is a good one there. You're going to spend $20 on the base version. I'd say maybe you're going to get anywhere from 30 to 150 hours. It depends on how crazy you want to go with building your castle. Because for those of you, by the way, that just like doing housing in games, building your house, you can just spend hundreds of hours building different things for your castle and carpets and torches, and it's all there. I definitely give it a thumbs up. Yad, I don't think you've had a chance to hands-on with this one yet, have you?
I don't care for vampires.
Oh, that's right. You're a Vikings guy.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah, you.
You can have your sparkly, shiny vampires.
No, that's not a vampire. Don't you dare say that. Don't you dare say that. That's not a vampire.
Damn it.
That's not a vampire. Yeah, Vampire Survivors is definitely value for money, Mad Martha. Absolutely. Vampire Survivors. Yod's more of a Jedi fan and a Sith fan. But then again, so are Troy and I. So we loved all the Star Wars stuff being revealed this past week just as much as you did. We're not going to talk about Obi-Wan right now because I haven't had a chance to even watch episode 1, let alone episode 2, because Stranger Things also came out yesterday too. So it's been a mess over here. It's been a mess.
When you asked us to put stuff on the list, I was like, oh man, I can't put Obi-Wan yet.
Nope. Can't do it yet. I haven't watched it. And I don't want to rehash the whole Star Wars presentation. There was so much good stuff there. Andor, and then you've got Indiana Jones 5 as part of it was tremendous. Loved seeing all of it, but we would be remiss, Yod, if we did not talk a little bit about some Jedi.
Right. So we have Jedi Survivors.
Yeah, Fallen Order, the sequel to Fallen Order, yeah.
Why they didn't call it Fallen Order 2, I don't know. It's they had to rename it for some reason. The trailer looks really cool. I still need to play the first one.
I was just going to ask, did you play the first one?
I still need to play the first one, so I have no idea who these people are or who the dude in the jar is at the end of this trailer. But it looks really cool.
So, okay, so we got people in chat because Star Wars Celebration was this week.
Right.
That's why you're seeing it all over YouTube.
Yeah.
Star Wars Celebration 2022 was this week. So it's actually technically still going on. It doesn't really end until tomorrow. But so lots of Star Wars news.
Does it go through Monday?
29th.
Okay.
I don't think it goes through. I think it's Sunday because Monday's Memorial Day.
Right.
So I think they end it tomorrow. I don't know, Zach. Zach in chat asking this too, and I couldn't tell from the trailer, and I haven't looked it up. I wonder if it's UE5 or not. Obviously started development prior to release, but depending on their code, they could have updated it. I don't know. Do either of you?
I do not know. If I had to guess, I'd say they probably stay on the engine they were on.
It looks a little more advanced though than the previous one.
This is the rendered gameplay trailer. It's
right.
It doesn't.
It's not gameplay, but there's I don't know. It something to me watching it looks
better than Gollum.
Yeah, well, yeah. Maybe I was watching that trailer too much and then switched to ooh.
Yeah, it is next gen as far as the consoles, or current gen Tark. Yeah.
Yeah, but it just.
But I don't know. I don't think it's Unreal 5. I do not think it is. We'll see.
Yeah,
I feel like that would have been shoved down our throats if it was.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like it would have been very clear that it was UE5 if it was.
I've owned Fallen Order for a couple years and never played it. You should play it. Takal, you don't. If I remember right, you don't like Demon Souls, Dark Souls-y type games, do you? Let me know in chat before I tell you whether or not you should go play Jedi Fallen Order.
It's a solo, single player Star Wars game.
Yeah, that's very much in the style of a Dark Souls, Demon Souls. It's a little more forgiving. Obviously, it's not trying to
it's not as
swelter you with the difficulty.
It's not trying to kill you via stroke.
It's not right off the bat, from what I understand.
It does get challenging. It absolutely gets challenging. But it's not going to be one of those, every frickin' boss is just going to destroy you. I am very excited about it. I know Torchwick's excited about it, too. He loved Jedi Fallen Order. So a sequel, he's all about it.
Yeah,
Last one, we've got a lot of movies and TV shows coming. Yod loves bringing these to the show. What do you got this week, Yod?
So Netflix acquired Horizon, and I'm not sure about that.
That one makes more sense to me than one of the other ones on this list.
True. There was Amazon acquired. What was it?
God of War.
God of War, and
which also, I could go for a God of War show.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And Gran Turismo. That one I'm not sure about.
That
how,
one.
I mean,
What does a Gran Turismo movie or show
Right.
look like? Don't we
Right.
already have Fast and
without
Furious?
having to pay Vin Diesel.
Right. I mean, they could, they could make up their own story for it, which then, nobody can go, that's not part of canon. So there's that aspect of it.
Like, there's not canon in Gran Turismo. Have you ever played a Gran Turismo game? There's
that's it.
barely
Yeah,
text.
That's it exactly, though. That's it exactly. It's a blank slate for them to, show off fancy cars. The problem I'm seeing.
So what you're
So
saying
with
is going to be a
Netflix-
giant car commercial.
Oh, sure, why
Gotcha.
not?
Oh,
And,
definitely. Well, that's all Gran Turismo is. It's a lot of fun,
that's what it
but
is.
it's just a
So
big car commercial. Yeah.
it'd go right along with the game. And most of the Amazon stuff I've seen has been decent, at least. There's been no major pitfalls. Now, granted, the Lord of the Rings one hasn't come out yet.
I mean,
but-
we also got what? The Last of Us coming. We've got
Right.
Uncharted, the movie
Right.
already out.
Which I
Ghost of
still haven't watched
Tsushima is going into other
Right.
media. Twisted Metal series is coming to
Mhm.
Peacock. The
Right.
Last of Us TV show is going to HBO. We already have Castlevania and Arcane, but they're going to
Mhm.
do another one of the Arcane, and Castlevania is going to continue, but in a different story. They've completed the current
Right.
story. They're done there.
Right,
A
which I
Fallout
like
TV and a Mass Effect show coming to
Right.
Prime Video, which, by the way, don't confuse that for Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power TV show that's also coming out.
Right. Which the Amazon side of it, they've done okay mostly. Netflix has dropped the ball a few times with their
You think?
adaptations.
You think?
Yeah. There's some
Not
broken eggs
Netflix.
there.
And we talked on this show about the Resident Evil live action trailer where we were just like, this
We
looks
mentioned it.
awful.
We mentioned it.
This looks awful.
What is it? Zavala, the guy that does the voice for Zavala on Destiny, is playing Wesker.
Yeah, he was also in, what was he in? He was in Fringe. Anybody remember that
Yeah,
show?
Yeah, he was on.
He
Fringe,
was
which
he was
does-
fantastic
I mean, he's
in
a
that
great.
show.
Don't get me wrong.
Because
he's
he
a
played
great actor.
Zavala. He
Yeah,
played
he's a
Zavala
great
in that
actor.
show.
Yeah, he's a great actor. Don't get me wrong. He's a great actor, but I just don't see him as Wesker.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Let's
I mean,
go-
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch
Of course you are. Of course you are.
I
Which
watch
is
all
what
of
you can
it.
say for the Halo TV show.
Hey, I
Hey.
enjoyed the Halo TV show. Okay,
What?
I actually
Guys.
enjoyed it. I
Guys,
did. For
Guys.
what it is, I
Guys.
enjoyed it.
guys.
Yeah.
They all look better than Gollum. Let's go do games of the week. For those of you new here to Ready Check Radio, this is the way we end every episode of Gaming Gumbo. We're each going to give you a game. Could be a tabletop game, card game, video game, mobile game, whatever. Something we're played in the past, haven't played yet, but think you should. And you let us know in the comments which one of us gave the best recommendation for the week. Troy, you're up first.
Normally I do a tabletop game, but I left that on the other side of the room when I had to do emergency computer switch. So
you mean
this-
you left it at your house while you scrambled to your secure hidden location?
my hidden bunker? Yes, my second home, because I'm so wealthy here in my vacation home. I left my board games in my primary residence. So I think this week I'm just going to recommend the Dishonored series. It's one of my favorite video game series of all freaking time. I absolutely love both Dishonored and Dishonored 2. If you haven't played them, you absolutely need to. If you've been on the fence about them, if you own them, if you've got them in a bundle and they're just sitting on your machine somewhere or in a library somewhere, get them downloaded, get them played. They are some of the best games you will ever experience.
Yod.
I am going to go with Wolfenstein series because I can finally play the latest one with the new rig behind me.
He's going to be recommending all kinds of games from like the last 3 years because now his computer can finally handle them.
Yes.
He's like, I know this came out 18 months ago, but damn, you got to play this. I'm going to give it to Roller Champions. It's not as good as Rocket League for me. It will not replace Rocket League. And it's got its own problems, so maybe wait for a little while. It is free to play, but maybe, we're going to do the first look. It'll go up like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week on MMO Bomb. It's got its challenges. But that's my recommendation is Roller Champion. There's a little bit of charm there. There's a little bit of charm in there. Don't go anywhere, chat. Immediately after this show, we will have Torchwick streaming. What's up, sir?
Not much. What about you?
I can't complain. You graduate tomorrow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Ooh.
You excited?
Now I don't want to. Now that joke made me not want to.
What are we playing tonight, my friend?
More Chrono Trigger. We're gonna get lost in time.
Sounds good. Are you enjoying this? Because this is a little different.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's a little too easy, but then you schooled me about the new Game Plus. So
Yeah, so he was like, after his stream last week, guys, he was like, man, I just wish there was a little more challenge in Chrono Trigger. He's like, I'm not, like, I've died, but I'm not having, like, huge problems or anything. And I was like, you do know that this is the game that invented New Game Plus, right? And he was like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, this is where New Game Plus comes from, dude. And he was like, oh, okay. And that, like, revitalized him. He was all kinds of interested.
I still maintain that the first run should be a little more difficult. I shouldn't have to beat the game once to get that difficulty.
New Game Plus, baby. It's all about New Game Plus. We will be back next week with the Relic Grind on Thursday night and Gaming Gumbo here on Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, of course. We've got the Always Online podcast on Fridays, mmobomb.com. That episode from yesterday is up and will be live, twitch.tv/mmobomb next week as well. Until then, Troy, where can everybody find you?
On Twitter at NoobFridge, and I'll let you know when my new motherboard comes in.
Yeah, buddy. Yad.
Yada Artworks on Facebook, Yada Artworks on Twitter, right here on Gaming Gumbo.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at MagicMan1, but more importantly, follow RC Radio over on Twitter, and you'll know every time we go live with a show or one of our volunteer streamers who I love very much. Stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.